When you cover stories of this nature, it obviously impacts you, and you feel sad and you feel overwhelmed.
The UN is calling the Rohingya refugee crisis the world's most urgent refugee crisis. Take a look at what's going on behind me.
Not only have they escaped unfathomable atrocities, now they're dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. Cases of COVID-19 are now in the refugee camps.
Living conditions are so crowded, social distancing is impossible.
It gets to you. You can't help but feel that. But what right do I have to feel sad?
These are people, these are Rohingya refugees that have been lining up for hours to try to get food distribution.
My struggle is nothing compared to the struggle of the people who I'm covering. So yes, there are conflicted feelings involved when you cover a story of this nature. That's just the truth of it. The more you recognize it, the easier it is to deal with it as a journalist. Hi, I'm محمد and I've covered the plight of the Rohingya extensively for Al Jazeera. And between us, no other story has had as much of an impact on me as this one has. Just to give you some idea of how most of the Rohingya refugees here are living, look at this. When you're in those tents, you feel like you're baking. It's absolutely brutal weather. That's a hut made from plastic and bamboo, and that's it. During the rainy season, the sky opens up and it absolutely starts pouring.
Things only get more unsanitary. Aid workers are so worried about the spread of disease.
When we got to the encampment that first day, I saw children who were completely silent, and there was a look of shock on their face, and they were just, most of them, either walking around in a daze or sitting quietly, and I knew right away that that meant that we were going to be hearing some horrific descriptions of what had happened to these adults and to these children.
My husband was shot and killed. 3 of my children had their throats slit.
And sure enough, in the days to come,
my baby was thrown into the fire and then they raped me. I feel like I'm burning on the inside.
We heard the most horrific descriptions of atrocities that I, as a journalist, have ever encountered. You know, I think we live in an era where people talk about never again, never letting certain things happen again. And the persecution of the Rohingya is not something new. It does shock me. I would have thought that with all the evidence that's been gathered, with all the testimonies that have been heard, that more people in the world would be outraged. And unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. They want to be heard. They've been marginalized for so long. And still, there is this willpower to persevere.
There are so many people you see behind me who are working for the community to prevent COVID-19.
They're teaching each other about proper hand washing and social distancing. They're making educational videos. They're working with aid agencies to build isolation and quarantine shelters.
There is a spirit of resilience there amongst the Rohingya that is just absolutely awe-inspiring.